everyone, welcome back to Veganmas Day 5. Today we are going to be doing something that I have wanted to do for a very long time, and that is make seitan. So we are going to be using the seitan steak recipe from Veggie Rose here on YouTube. She is awesome. She puts out so many great recipes, and I gotta tell you guys, this steak recipe looks amazing. I actually used to really love steak, so I hope I enjoy this. So let's just start making it right now. The first thing we have to do is mash up beans. In her recipe, she does use white beans. I didn't have any, so I'm just going to use chickpeas. It will probably change the taste a little bit, but I am acknowledging that going in. And I also microwave these quickly so that they'd be a little bit easier to mash up. Now into our bowl, we are going to add in a bunch of wet ingredients. Let's start doing that. First, we need to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce. So let's just try and not make a mess. I'm gonna do just a touch more because I'm not using a real tablespoon. I just got sauce literally everywhere. Oh my gosh. You would think I've never been in the kitchen before with the amount of sauce I just spilled everywhere. Let's add in those chickpeas. That looks pretty good. I'm just making sure that I have everything mashed in there. Let me show you real quick. All right, it's not very pretty, but this is what it looks like. All right, so now let's add in our seasoning. So she says 1 teaspoon of paprika. We need ground pepper. We need garlic powder. Adding in a lot because I like a lot of garlic powder. She has onion powder on here. I unfortunately don't have any onion powder. So I have this seasoning that has onion powder, garlic powder, liquid smoke, all this stuff. So I just feel like it'd be good to put in here. I feel like this should go in here. So we're just gonna put that in here. So we'll sprinkle some of that in. It also has some salt in here. So I don't know, there's just a lot of things in here. Sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, soy protein, maple syrup, garlic, onion, natural smoke flavor, black pepper, yeast. I'm only gonna add in a sprinkle of salt just because that had salt in it. And then she says 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. That looks like enough. Also, yes, I know that I'm not measuring anything with measuring spoons. I have a pretty good eye. I also know what flavors I like more and less of, and I'm fine with just eyeballing it. Then we need a 1.25 cups of Vital Wheat gluten. So here's the deal with Vital Wheat gluten, okay? Because I always see this on everybody that uses Vital Wheat gluten's recipes. This is how you make seitan. It is the main ingredient in seitan. So no, there is no way to make this gluten-free because this is the actual protein from bread that makes it that doughy stretchiness. So that's why everyone's always like, oh, you're making bread. That's a weird meat replacement. It's not bread, it's the protein in bread, and it works for some reason to give things meaty textures. So now we need to mix this up, and then after we've mixed it a little bit, we're gonna add in the veggie broth. Let's measure out 1/2 cup of veggie broth. Oh my, guys, I just spilled it. I swear, it's one of those days. It is one of those days. Add in a little bit right now. It's just a dark veggie broth. I feel like I have to start kneading. Let's add in a little more broth, and I'm going to take my rings off. This is definitely very dry. The texture of this seitan right now, it's very spongy. As soon as I'm pressing it, it's just going right back into its shape. But I definitely have a nice dough. I actually almost feel like it's slightly too wet. Let me take it out of this bowl so I can show you. This is our dough right now. See what I mean about how it's spongy? Look at that. So now we just have to cut this into 4 equal pieces. I don't think I'm gonna make all 4 of these. I'll probably only make 2. We need to roll this. So I rolled my little steaks out. They look exactly like hers, except I just feel like my color's a little bit off, but that's okay. Now we have to steam them. So we're gonna do that. If you don't have a steamer, you can just take a pot and then take a strainer, and then I'll put the seitan steaks in here, probably like something like this. And then I'll just fill it up with a little bit of water and cover it, and then it steams. So we have to steam these for 45 minutes, she said. So our seitan is steaming back there, and while that is cooking, I figured let's make the marinade. So she has 6 tablespoons of soy sauce, which I believe is about a quarter cup, maybe a little bit more. Okay. She uses agave. I don't have agave. I'm just gonna use a little maple syrup. 1 tablespoon maple syrup, just some seasoning. So we're doing garlic powder, black pepper. I'm gonna use again some of this secret weapon stuff. She has onion powder on there, but again, since I don't have onion powder right now, that is fine. So let's just give that a little mixy mix. So these have been steaming for only about 15-20 minutes now, and I just want you to see how much more chubby they got. They're definitely a lot plumper, chubbier, so they're looking good. So they're still steaming. This is the only annoying part, I guess, about making this, is that it has to steam and then it has to marinate. It just takes a little bit of time, but you know, you can just do other things. I kind of cleaned the kitchen up, and then actually like she says to do in the video of hers, I'm actually gonna cut, well I started to cut these up into little bite-sized pieces. So yeah, we still have, I started at 12:45 steaming and it's 1:06, so we still got some time. So I'm just gonna put these in a little Ziploc bag. We did the marinade. And I think I'll work on a blog post because I'm filming this on, today is Tuesday. So today, the lentil bolognese recipe is going up. It's already live when you're watching this. I'll link it down below if you didn't see it yet. So the seitan steaks have finally finished steaming. They are chubby and fat and perfect. So now we can marinate them. Let me show you them real quick. So these are them. They're chubby. They're very hot, but they look pretty good. So we're gonna marinate them now. When she cooks it, she does add in thyme, but I just actually wanted to add in a few leaves anyway. I just feel like it's gonna help to add a little bit of that sort of peppery flavor. I mean, we're gonna add more in when we cook it, but anything to help this have more flavor is just what we need. Oh my gosh, I told you guys, not my day. So this is very hot right now. Please be careful. I'm just gonna push it in there, get it coated, and then the same with the other one. Just get all in there, squish them down. She says to marinate them for an hour. I don't have that kind of time because we're fighting daylight now. So I'm gonna marinate them for probably about a half hour. I know that the flavor will not be as strong. I know that going in, it's okay. So I'm leaving in this container, and then every so often I'm just gonna come and like give this a little shake. So this way they're getting coated. So yeah, and you could even just, if you do it in a thing like this, just toss it upside down, give it a shake. You know the drill. We are finally ready to cook our steaks. So first, let's add some olive oil in here. And we're going to add some Yokos vegan butter in. This stuff is the best. And we're gonna let this melt up. Olive oil and butter together are really how you should cook steak, real steak. And it's how you should cook your vegan steak too. Just to help get some flavors going, we're gonna add in some garlic and a few sprigs of rosemary and thyme before we add the steaks in. So just let your butter melt and then we can add in our steaks. So she says to just let them cook for a little bit, they'll get browned up, so that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bump the heat up a little bit now, hopefully getting some nice flavors in there from the rosemary, thyme, and the garlic. It smells amazing in the kitchen. So let's just get these guys a little bit seared. All right, guys, here is our steak. Oh my gosh, I think it looks so good. I paired it with some roasted potatoes that actually my grandma is here visiting, so she made them for me. So thank you, Zook, for making the potatoes for me, and broccoli, and it looks so good. I'm really, really impressed. Okay, so we can finally taste test. I have to say the kitchen smells incredible. There's a lot of flavors with the rosemary and the garlic and the thyme. It just smells really good. I think the steak looks great. I think it looks like a steak. And I think in the dish with the potatoes and the broccoli, that looks really good. So yeah, I'm a little scared, but let's taste it. Let's try and eat maybe that back of this guy. Let's carefully scoot you over here, little friend. Okay. It definitely feels meaty. It's definitely cutting like meat. Okay, let me show you guys the inside first. So this is the inside. Sorry, I cannot hold my hand still to save my life. I think it looks good. It looks like hers. And then that's it, like cut into the steak. I think it does look meaty. It has the right color. Let's try it. All right, I'm like a little nervous to taste this. My hair's and my face everywhere. I'm not doing a big piece to start this off, just in case. All right, so flavor is really good. She didn't actually cook hers with rosemary, but I would suggest doing it. The texture is not like steak. There's a few things that could have happened. First things first, obviously, we talked about this in the beginning. I used chickpeas, not navy beans. I could have kneaded this for too long and got it too, like, gooey, you know what I mean? Like beat it up too much and like activated the proteins too much. So then it became more chewy. It's not a bad texture. It just wasn't the texture I was expecting. It's just like a little bit chewier than what I remember steak being like. But it's really good. I know I sound like I'm like critiquing a lot. That's not it. I'm just trying to give you guys what's going on in my mouth right now to help you to understand. Another thing that she said to do was to not burn it. And I definitely I'm like looking at it, some of the edges burnt. That could have done something to it as well. I like it. I would make it again. It's time consuming, but not really, because a lot of it's like passive time, like waiting for it to marinate. I wasn't doing anything. I did other things while I did that. So that's not bad. I've gotten seitan substitutes in restaurants, and this is way better than most of the ones I've gotten. So that's awesome. I would suggest making this. I would suggest trying it. I think it's definitely worth it. It's awesome because the ingredients are cheap. Nothing is super expensive. The Vital Wheat gluten, I'll link one for you down below, but it's like $5, I think, for the bag. So yeah, that is our steak recipe. I really like it. I'm definitely gonna make this again. I have those frozen pieces in the fridge that maybe I'll try her deep fried like chicken recipe with that, like she suggests to do in the video. I am off to go photograph this bad boy. And I will see you tomorrow with another Veganmas. Any recipe requests, anything you want to see, link them down below. I keep getting a lot of requests for cookie recipes. I'm going to do them. I do have 3 cookie recipes from last year, though. If you need cookie recipes ASAP, I'll link them down below for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen today. And I'll see you tomorrow.